heart of South Philly. Let's go see what the people have got to say. I'm ready to roll, baby.
Now listen here, Dutch. Mets and the Cowboys, they suck.
1, 2, 3, go Birds! Go Birds! Here we got 302BIRDS, Gino Stinks. Go Birds! Oh my gosh, chat.
Your favorite Chicagoan. Go Phils.
As always, God bless. Go Birds.
Get your water ice and soft pretzels ready because you are now tuned into a 302BIRDS podcast experience. Proudly presented by TickPick, Rick's Pizza, El Diablo Burritos, and Klondike Kate's on the heart of Main Street. Let's take it to the show.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of 302BIRDS. Happy Wednesday night. And of course, as always, we got in another electric episode for you guys. Tonight, we got our call-ins. We're talking about the Japanese Phanatic. Yes, it exists. And a lawsuit that might exist for the Hiroshima Carps. We're talking with Dr. Do right now. I'm not going to keep you guys waiting for that. In a chug-off. Yes, a chug-off. If you don't know who Dr. Do is, well, guess what? You're about to find out. Let's take it to a very special segment of 302BIRDS with the Houston Texans, Houston's own Dr. Do. A little bit thirsty. So I have a challenge for you, Doctor. All right, I know you're a Texans fan, but I will ask you, if I beat you in a chug-off, which is very unlikely, because I see your game, dude. You are a great chugger. But if I beat you in a chug-off, will you convert your fandom from Texan to Eagle fans? 302BIRDS Nation, we got a special interview for you guys tonight. Someone who I'm a big fan of, a Texans, I guess you could say / Eagles fan. Obviously, Texans are his first team, but the Birds, I think it's fair to say, is second. But he's somebody that you guys may need to go see if you need a prescription, if you need to get better when you're feeling down. Somebody who can make you laugh, who will have your back. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to the Doctor! Dr. Do on the show. How you doing,
Hello,
brother?
everybody. How are we, everybody? Thank you so much for inviting me here on this wonderful podcast right here, y'all. I'm your one and the only Dr. Do here, everybody. How are we on this wonderful Wednesday evening right here, everybody?
Wonderful Wednesday evening. Dude, I'm hyped to have you on the show. Like I told you a little bit before, I love your content. You make me laugh. You rock the Canadian tuxedo exceptionally well. I mean, I rock it some days, but you rock it better than me.
Thank you so much for inviting me on your wonderful podcast. I can't wait to talk with you, my man, right here.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question just to kick this thing off. How did this all start, man, for you, this Instagram thing?
It actually originated before Instagram. Like, I wasn't as big on Instagram or Facebook until I did TikTok. My original name was Blue Mike before Dr. Do, all right? What that one is? What kind of mug is that?
So this is one that I saw in Wawa around us. Do you know what Wawa is? Do you have Wawa around you?
Summer Freeze.
Summer Freeze.
We had that in Texas, all right? Including the sugar drink. Oh, wait.
I'm going to give it a quick test out of this bottle because it's pretty much filled here, and I know I'm not going to be able to finish that, and I still have more left. You're going to smoke me. I can already see it. But I'm going to give a quick test just because I haven't tasted it yet, all right? So we're not going to start yet, but I'm just going to taste this. And
all right. It's really good. You ever tried the sugar? Not bad, really.
And you said that this one you would say is a little bit sugary, the regular?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is a little bit sugary. I see what you're saying. But the zero sugar you're saying is where it's at?
Yes. Ever since I stopped drinking sugary drink and eating things that are sugary, I lost a lot of weight by that. Like a lot.
Really?
I lost like almost 45 pounds from since the beginning of January.
Holy crap. Congratulations to you, dude. That's awesome.
I went from 210 pounds to 170.
Wow, look at you, Slim. I see you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I see you, man. All right, Doctor. Well, why don't you show the Philadelphians what you do? On three, first we'll cheers, and then we'll tap down after we cheers, and then we'll chug, okay?
Okay.
1, 2, 3, go Birds. Dude, I didn't even make it past the Pepsi logo.
Yeah. I wasn't as big on internet at that time until I made a video combining Dr. Pepper and Mountain Dew in 2021. Create the name Dr. Dew for. However, this one drink had became a breakout year right here. 2023, 2 days before the Eagle versus Kansas City. Remember that?
Yes. I remember. Yeah.
It was that video I made, the Philly Dew drink. That was the biggest blowout drink that ever become big and viral, man.
What is
At all.
it? Can you tell me what a Philly Dew is?
The Philly Dew is a drink combination of the original Mountain Dew with pitch black.
And what does that taste like?
Tastes good, man. It was actually a good taste right there. Like the texture, the flavor with the Mountain Dew original, really good.
So, do you have a favorite Mountain Dew or a favorite soda that you like to chug or just like to drink?
My favorite. I got a favorite right here. Voltage and Cold Red Mountain Dews.
So the Houston Texans fandom, how did that all come about? Is it just where you're from in Texas, or how'd you become a Texans fan?
I'm from Houston, North Houston.
Oh, cool. So you've been a Houston Texans fan your whole life.
Yes. I was a Texas fan since they started playing their first game against the Cowboys.
Wow. So wait, do you hate the Dallas Cowboys?
They always been a pain in the butt, and also they've been overrated all my life.
Yes. So
Let me
wait,
tell
Doctor, if you had to rank the NFC East teams for you, okay?
Yeah.
Eagles, Giants, Cowboys, and Commanders. Rank them in your order.
Okay, here easy for me. Philadelphia, Washington, Commanders. No, wait. I got that. I got Commander wrong on that. Commander is second, right? And then
Yes.
third, you got the. I got them both tied. I say Giants are last, but Cowboy are third. Get what I mean? All right.
Who's your favorite player on the Eagles, Doctor?
For me, it all had to be Barkley or Hurts, man. All right. Hurts for me because you're from the city H-Town, man. Right? You had to respect your native people over there. All right.
Who's your most hated team in the NFL, Doctor?
Oh man, yeah. You want to know my hated teams? Jacksonville, you know them. They always claim to be the top team of the AFC South. Trevor Lawrence. Let me tell you about Trevor Lawrence. Why you give him 5-year contract of $250 million for one playoff game in the divisional round, but lost to Kansas City? You know who deserved that contract than him? You know Blake Bortles.
Yep.
He deserved that contract because he led them to an AFC championship and fought against Tom Brady and the Patriot at that time. Trevor Hunter, let me tell you about that guy. Is he a wide receiver or a cornerback? Are you going to make him a cornerback or a wide receiver? That's the question right there.
Who the hell knows, right, man?
Am I right? I'm like,
You're right.
are you going to put him on both defensive offense? You like tie him out, and also you going to get him the decrease of improvement. All right, you put him
injury too. He's going to have double the chance of getting injured.
Yes, exactly. Okay.
Who's your favorite player in Texans history?
Oh, you know me. I want to go with Cjgj Watt, man. He's the greatest player of all about Texans. He showed himself he could be a great leader in the defensive position, like how he managed to break through the lines in order to get to people like Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. Hey, have you seen that NFL analyst prediction for the Texans?
No, what did they say?
They predicted them to have an 8-9 record.
8 and 9.
Yeah, some guy had predicted that the Texans would win 8 games and lose 9 games. One of them is with the Titans and the Colts in Jacksonville. I'm like, what kind
Yeah,
of...
that makes no sense. That's crazy.
The NFL hate the Texans. I've been seeing all over platform. All right, you know what A-Town mean, right? Houston, home of the great Sam Houston himself. All right, we have proven time and time again that we are belonging to the NFL. We are a Super Bowl contender. They're nothing but to be stopped at all.
You hit the nail on the head. And I want to give you a huge thank you and a huge shout out for your content and what you do. You bring a lot of positivity to the internet. You make me smile. You make me laugh. And you are a true NFL fan and a true gentleman. So thank you for joining. Thank you for sharing your story. And hopefully I'll see you again, man. We do an NFL draft show every year. And now I know who I'm going to call for my Texans fans.
Thank you so much for bringing me onto your podcast. I really appreciate everything you've done for me, man. And thank you for the chug challenge for everybody who watched it. Thank y'all so much for watching us, all right, y'all? And this podcast right here is the one right here, everybody. Peace out, everybody.
That's the best kind of compliment you can get from the doctor if you know the doctor. I want to thank Dr. Do for jumping on, sharing his story about his fandom. Was an absolute pleasure cutting it up with him. Apologize if the Wi-Fi was a little bit iffy during that segment. It shouldn't be during this one just because there's a pretty bad rainstorm. But let's go ahead and take it to the ballpark. Time for Phillies talk with Ballpark Tommy. Finger stitch. So you guys are getting a 2-for-1 tonight. Number one, shout out to Nick's Pizza. Make sure you guys go eat local, get some pizza for dinner. And then if you want to wrap it up with lunch or start off a little bit early, you can go to El Diablo Burritos. Or you can flip the script. Nick's Pizza for lunch, El Diablo for dinner. Whatever way you want to do it. But want to combine Ballpark Tommy and the call-in segment tonight. So shout out to Nick's Pizza and El Diablo. Let's get into our call-ins.
What do I want when I'm in the state of Delaware? Of course, El Diablo Burritos. Customer service always is serving your food with a smile on their face, asking how your day is. Their food is phenomenal as well. Their burritos are out of this world, one of the best burritos in town. Their queso is phenomenal. Their burrito bowls are amazing as well. When you're in and around Delaware, stop by your local El Diablo Burritos and tell them that 302 Birds sent you. God bless, go Birds.
So apparently there's another Phanatic or a Philly Phanatic creature looking type of thing. I don't even know. This Japanese baseball team has crazy fucking, I don't even know what you want to call it. It's probably some Japanese term or whatever, but we got to get rid of this thing as soon as possible because it looks way too much like the Philly Phanatic. It reminds you way too much of the Philly Phanatic. It's basically, I describe it like this, a fucking Japanese Muppet is what this thing is, but it's way too similar looking to the Philly Phanatic. So we got to get rid of that thing as soon as possible and only represent and only support the Philly Phanatic. I don't support no Japanese baseball Muppet type of creature. Philly Phanatic all the way. Go Phillies.
What's up, everybody? Friday here. Just want to say something about this Japanese-like Phanatic. I want to say that he needs to be our secondary mascot because the Phillies have been cursed over the years, and if we can bring him in as a mascot in the next couple of seasons, it would be good luck to the Philadelphia Phillies. So, Dalt, your friend out there, tell him or tell whoever, bring that mascot our way, please.
How's it going, everybody? Frost here from Philly here, and today I found out that the Philly Phanatic has a long-lost brother from Japan, Slyly of the Hiroshima Carp. Dalt hit me up, showed me the article, and I was like, wow, this is actually pretty sick, because the first thing that I thought of was a sort of team-up. Could you imagine if the Philly Phanatic and Slyly got to meet in person? I'm not sure what the logistics of this would look like, but imagine that the Phillies and the Carp played some sort of, charity game or an exhibition game just for these guys to meet. I think both fans on each side of the ball, teams, would love that. It'd be a really great way, I think, for the MLB to expand to Japanese markets and the Japanese league to expand to American markets. I think it'd be a really cool team up. Slyly seems like a cool guy. I got no gripe with him kind of being very similar to Philly Phanatic, and I would welcome him with open arms. I hope he gets to Philly one day. We get to meet him in person.
Ditch. To be perfectly honest, I think this mascot wannabe of the Phanatic, I think it's actually flattering. I like you. You might be upset, and I know a lot of people who are calling in might be upset, but I think it's actually kind of flattering that, they want to imitate us. Just shows how great of a mascot he is. Look at what's going on in the NBA. They all are trying to emulate what's going on with the gorilla for the Phoenix Suns, and because he's a great mascot. I think it's great that other European and Asian countries, their teams are trying to emulate our mascot. A lot of fans, foreign fans, talk about all the time how Philly's the only American city that truly shows fanaticism, like is truly fanatic about their sports. So, I think it's great that other teams around the world are trying to emulate us. And I think it's pretty good. I know other people are probably going to be upset that they're trying to take this. I get why it's not a copyright issue, because it's hard to do copyright in other countries. But, the Philly Phanatic cousin's great. And, it's just a tip of cap to Philadelphia. For once, somebody actually wants to be like us and doesn't hate us. So I appreciate it. It's nice.
Well, that's an interesting little mascot that you've got there, Hiroshima Carp, although he does look a little bit too much like a furry green Philadelphia-based mascot from the Galapagos Islands, don't you think? Actually, Slyly's resemblance to the Philly Phanatic is really, really cool. Imitation is the most sincere form of flattery, as the saying goes, and by that standard, Philadelphia fans should be honored and thrilled that the world is taking notice of the best mascot, certainly in baseball, if not in all of sports. Go Phils.
Fun one. So I will start by asking KJ and Ashley, guys, what in the heck is this Japanese Philly Phanatic? And do you guys think that a class action lawsuit could be in the cards? I'll start with KJ.
I mean, I don't know if it's related to him. I don't know if, the Phanatic is like a flightless Galapagos bird, but this Phanatic kind of thing, this guy, this Muppet, as Positive Philly said, kind of resembles more of like a dragon because it has nostrils like a dragon. So of anything, I think it's just like if a dragon and the Phanatic had a baby. Maybe it honestly might be the Philly Phanatic's long lost father. You ever thought of that? We've only seen the Phanatic's mother at the games, but we've never met the Phanatic's father. Could the Phanatic's father be Japanese?
That would be a plot twist and a half.
I don't know. He could be, but I don't have any problems with it. I think it's funny. And as Tommy was saying as well, as Ballpark was saying, I do think it's flattering. I do think it's cool. And I think the respect aspect of it is just awesome. And sorry, there was a bug. Sorry. But yeah, I do think it was great to see that. I think it's cool that they're doing that. And I think people getting pissed off about it, I wouldn't waste your energy on it. I don't know. It's not that big of a deal. It really isn't. I think it's cool. I don't mind it.
Ash, what are your thoughts?
I think it's super fun. I, again, don't know. All I know about the Phanatic is that he's a flightless bird from the Galapagos. I don't know if there's any relation here. Obviously, imitation is there. But anyone who knows me well knows that I love The Amazing Race. And a couple of seasons ago, they actually had the season finale be in Philadelphia. If anyone has ever seen that episode, they specifically talked about how Philadelphia is best known for their Phanatic fans. And they actually had a mascot competition where the people had to dress up as the Amazing Race mascot and race alongside Swoop, Gritty, the Phanatic, and Temple University's mascot as well. So I just think about how maybe this particular city, they wanted to kind of emulate the love of their mascot like Philadelphia does.
I think it's awesome. Like you said, like Tom said, imitation is the best form of flattery, right? Like I take it as a compliment because when you do look at it, I was trying to pull up the picture. I apologize. I can't. I had to have everything preloaded before the stream because Wi-Fi. But if you guys look it up and you saw in the pre-recorded video when Positive was talking, shout out to all our call-ins too. If you call in the show, thank you. If you want to call in the show, send us a DM on Instagram that literally says, I want to call into the show. We will figure out how to get you on next week's show. That's going to be a thing where we start accepting multiple call-ins in smaller increments so you guys can get involved a lot more. Going to be a fun thing to do. But back to the point. It all started for me when Nick's pizza owner, actually Nick Voros, he was on vacation in Japan. And I guess he went to a Carps game and he posted the picture of the mascot. And as soon as I saw it, the cartoons of it, the advertising, the propaganda, like the way that they just talk about their mascot, it is the same. Exact same ways the Philadelphia Phillies. It almost reminds me of if they took the Orioles branding and word mark and all that, and if they threw it in the washer with the Phillies, and then like it kind of got mixed up and put blue a lot of certain ways. I will say though, they gotta collaborate. Like they are so alike, and if the Phillies aren't going to sue them, they at least should benefit off the content at one time. Because if they do have a deal, I think what the loophole really is for how they got this is they went to the originator and creator of the Phanatic, and they had him design a mascot too. So if anything, it's kind of like, come on, buddy, you got to get more creative because you can't just have a one-act show. And in Philadelphia, we don't like to share. But moving along now to our next segment, Philadelphia Phillies got the job done today against San Francisco. And I'll let KJ McCoy take this one first because he was avidly watching the game and did a great job on the post game with Fratty.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. But it was awesome. It was awesome really coming after that W. I mean, just and actually talking up this team and really kind of talking about the positive, a positive game, because last night was definitely a negative. Last night was awful. Last night was torture. And it just was horrible to see Ray Jordan Romano out there just choking it up like usual. That guy stinks. I mean, he was awful. But yeah, I mean, they bounced back. The hitting was alive. The bats were alive. Bryce Harper was definitely alive. I mean, he is woken up out of nowhere. So that was great to see. Schwarber with the Schwarber bomb. That's 2 days in a row he's had a homer. So he's already showing that, which I just found out that he actually is not going to be in the home run derby, which he should be, but apparently isn't going to be. But it's showing that he should be in it. But I think he actually declined to be in it, unfortunately. So I don't know. Maybe he's trying to save some home runs for the regular season. I actually, you know what? I appreciate that. Definitely do. But great win. I mean, great series win against the San Francisco Giants. I will definitely take it because right now we are one game ahead of the New York Mutts. So I'll take it.
The Mutts. Ash, what do you think?
Yeah, I know we were talking about this last week, but this was a must. These are must-win games. Every game right now, especially being neck and neck with the Mets right now, is so important. And I will say my family in particular, they are almost more paying attention to the Mets right now than they are to the Phillies, because they're like, we got to figure out what the Mets are doing so that we can figure out what we need to do. I very much feel like it's like the end of the season in football when you're trying to figure out playoff seeding. I feel like we're already at that point here in July. Today was the game that we needed. Yesterday was an embarrassment, and that's all that you can say about that.
Yeah. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, like Ashley just highlighted. Sorry, that's my fault, Jaden. Instinct. You're good, bro. Our producer's crushing it backstage. I forgot we had like the legacy of a producer now. But yeah, this game and this series, I think, really shows for Phillies fans. This is something I've kind of been stewing on this take for a couple weeks, and I guess I'll just let it out now. Eagles season is obviously a lot less, right? And it's fair to say that we are well further into the season versus where the Eagles were at that point. But remember when we were 2-2 last year, right? Nobody was thinking that the Eagles were a good team and had any legit shot. They all thought, okay, you know what? Same story, Eagles. Here they go. They're going to fall flat on their face. They can't put it all together. They have all this talent and they can't do it. All year long, there were questions about if the Eagles were legit. There were questions about Nick Sirianni's coaching. There were questions about Jalen Hurts' leadership and the way that he played on this team. If he was a legit NFL quarterback that could lead a team to a Super Bowl championship, Super Bowl trophy. But here's the thing. I think that this Phillies team is in a very similar position. They have the opportunity to break through if they want to. They just need to put it all together. It's only the beginning of July. I'm not hitting any kind of panic button or anything like that yet. I'm taking a chill pill. It's okay because I really think that this Phillies team come later in the year is going to put it together. And today's game showed that. When you go out there and beat the shit out of a team 13-0 the day after you have a heartbreaking loss like that, that is encouraging to us fans. I think I remember Nick Castellanos saying it a couple years ago. This team doesn't lose back-to-back games very often. You know, when they lose, they very much take it to heart. And I like that as a fan. I really do. But going ahead and previewing this weekend, we got the Padres. KJ McCoy, if you guys get lucky, maybe we'll make another rap or two. But Mac, are you getting ready for the series?
Yeah, I mean, we just played the Padres. We just whooped them. I'm pretty sure we swept them at home. So, you know what? Let's bring the broom over there to San Diego, and let's go take care of them for sure. I mean, whatever they're doing over there, they're doing their stupid song over there, singing about geese and goose and goslings and whatever the heck they're singing about over there. But yeah, I mean, they have a very similar record to us, but I definitely think we got this series for sure. Especially, I mean, if we played like how we played today, I do think we could definitely beat the San Diego fraudulent Padres. But I'll also say this about the what we were just talking about as well. I still think it is very early to really kind of predict what this team can do right now, because also you just never know in baseball. Like, you just never know. It's one of those times where it's just like, I mean, it's one of those sports where you just never know, and a team can go on a streak. And also, here's the thing that I think as well. I don't know if this team can go on a streak, because I don't feel like with this type of roster that we have that we can do that. We need some little bit more pieces. That's what I think. If we can really get a starting center fielder like a Cedric Mullins, I think maybe we definitely can be one of those teams for sure. If we can get some more bullpen help, then I definitely think we could be one of those competitive teams that could be competing for a World Series trophy. But with what we saw from Ray Romano, Jordan, I keep on saying Ray Romano because
by instinct,
the guy pitches like we're bringing out everybody loves Ray or whatever. That's how he pitches. It's like we're bringing Manny from the Ice Age out there every single damn time. It's gonna crack, and that's what it seems like every time with freaking Jordan Romano, that he is going to crack. Yeah. As much as the Liberty Bell cracks, Jordan Romano cracks in the wrong way. And it really just is where I get nervous. It really does, where that gets me very nervous, because if you have guys like that, and you still see, I mean, you obviously see Dombrowski and Topper Thompson bringing out a guy like Romano, and you're like, scratch your head, like, what have you seen in this guy? Why was he even acquired? Like, get him out of here. Like, it just makes no sense at all. So they just need to take every series, but I mean, one by one, which I feel like they're doing a pretty good job with. I mean, they are leading the NL East right now, so they're in a good position right now, but they're only like a game ahead of the Mets. So the Mets got a doubleheader tomorrow, which Fratty told me about. So we need the Mets to lose both games tomorrow against the Baltimore Orioles, our buddies down the highway on 76. I believe that's the highway. Right, Dol? You would know. You drive to Baltimore sometimes.
Yeah, 95, man. The battle of 95, as we like to say, 95. Right, Mac?
Yes, sir.
What do you think, Ash?
This one makes me a little nervous. The Phillies do not do great. After we crush somebody in a series, we don't typically play them all that fabulously the next time around. So I hope that we can kind of keep this momentum going. However, how many times have we sat on here this past season, or really the last couple of seasons, and have been like, hopefully this will continue, but we really don't always think that it will. So I hope we're going to hope for the best and prepare for the worst. And yes, the Mets have to lose both games tomorrow.
Well, that's actually a great segue into our next topic, which we had some snubs. We definitely did. And I'll go ahead and kick off this segment being Trey Turner, I think, was the most obvious snub for the MLB All-Star. When we saw this, obviously the first thing that came to my mind was, wow, okay, look, I know that we've been not too easy on Trey since he's been here. Broad said it in his video. I love how he said it. Shout out to Broad Street Sports. He said, I know I haven't been the biggest fan of Trey, which is true. But you look at this stat right here. He leads the NL with 109 hits. You look at how much more ahead of other players he is that made the All-Star game over him, and it's shocking. Now, obviously, I understand that it's different now when it comes to any All-Star game. Like, it's a very much TMZ, Entertainment League, whoever gets the most votes. It's not like, if you make an All-Star game nowadays, it's not like the most exciting thing in the world. And I'm not trying to say this in a mean way, right? But when Mac Jones made the Pro Bowl, that was when it sunk in for me that all Pro Bowls, all All-Star games, all whatever you want to call it, will never be the same quality of what they are. Because look, Mac Jones wasn't bad that year, but he necessarily wasn't great either. Like, he definitely wasn't in the top 3 QBs of the AFC. I understand some players in different leagues like the NFL, they're like, you know what? I don't want to play in this. I don't want to participate. I don't want to take the risk of injury. But as far as MLB goes, I feel like there's more of a respect for the All-Star game, and it's definitely losing its integrity with this voting. Ash, we'll let you take it. Ladies first. What did you think? I mean, Trey being snubbed.
I was really frustrated. There is no reason why we should only have 2 All-Stars on this team. Granted, there are many days that we play like we should have no All-Stars. Last night would be an example of that in some ways. But we really need to be having more people, especially Trey. I was shocked when I did not see Trey on the lineup for that. And, it sucks that it's turned into a popularity contest. That's not what these games are meant to be. However, it very much seems like it is. Kind of just like I go back to like the Senior Bowl with college football. There's a lot of people who are like, oh, I'm just not going to go because I don't think that it's cool enough or anything. And I'm like, this is like a once in a lifetime thing to be able to go to an All-Star game or any game of that caliber, fill in whatever sport you are playing professionally.
Yeah. KJ, what do you think?
You know what's crazy about the MLB? And it happened a couple of years ago. I could be wrong, but they're probably the only league where it's required that every team has an all-star. You know what's funny? The Colorado Rockies happen to have a all-star in this game because every single team has to have at least one all-star. And I'll tell you right now, the Colorado Rockies are probably one of the worst teams I've seen in all of sports. I think even the Bad News Bears could beat the Colorado Rockies. I think even Johnny's T-ball team down the street could beat these Colorado Rockies. That's how bad they are. But to see that a Colorado Rockies guy makes it over, well, because they have to in this league, makes it over a guy like Trey Turner, it just makes no sense. But the MLB needs to work on that. They need to realize if a team is only winning, I don't even think the Rockies even have 20 wins, if I'm not mistaken. Like, here's the thing: like if they're that bad, they don't deserve to be in the All-Star game. There's nobody on that team that deserves to sniff the All-Star game. But I mean, I think a lot of people don't realize too how great Trey Turner has been this year, and I think it's also because the guy has not been hitting homers. He's been hitting a lot of great hits that have led for a bunch of RBIs. He's been the RBI king for this team this season. He's been great. So I think that's also a thing where the MLB also kind of realizes, well, Trey Turner's not producing the home runs per se. He's producing the hits. And I guess these other guys like Mookie Betts, I believe another guy that was ahead of him that got the spot was Jazz Chisholm. And there was someone else. I'm forgetting who else it was. But they got the call instead of Trey Turner. And it definitely scratched my head for sure. But, I mean, at least we got Kyle Schwarber and Zach Wheeler, which I'm fine with those guys making the All-Star game. Last year we had, I think, 7 All-Stars. I remember we had Chris Sanchez. We had, I believe, Ranger Suarez. We had Harper. I think Harper was – I forget if Harper was playing. I think he was. Bohm was playing. And then I believe we had a couple of – and then I think Wheeler as well. So there was – and maybe a couple other players. But we had a pretty good list of All-Stars. So I think it's good to see that we have 2 guys and we don't have the requirement like how the Rockies do where they have to just pick somebody out of a freaking top hat and be like, yep, you're going to be an All-Star. And the guy, I mean, feels like the greatest guy ever. And fun fact, this happened years ago with the Colorado Rockies. And we thought, you know what, when we got this player, this was going to be awesome. And we were like, oh my gosh, this guy's an All-Star. That was, I don't know if you remember this. I think the guy's name was David Dahl or something like that.
Yeah.
He played for the Rockies and he was an All-Star. He was an All-Star because they needed an All-Star. Every team needed to be in the All-Star game. So when they were making it seem like, oh, we got an All-Star, I was like, yeah, but he played for the Colorado Rockies. So, I mean, it is what it is. And you know what sucks, though, too? I know I was saying this recently. Kyle Schwarber is not going to be in the home run derby. I mean,
that's wild.
It sucks. And I think he probably declined it on purpose. He wants to save the home runs for the regular season. I get that. That makes sense. But I kind of wanted to see him take the home run derby title back to Philly. I mean, we haven't seen anybody win a home run derby title since Ryan Howard, and that was in Pittsburgh. So, I want to see that again. I want to see a Philly win a home run derby again. So I thought it would be a perfect chance for Schwarber to do that for the Phils.
Well, maybe, KJ, just maybe, we'll get a World Series ring instead. But that's actually a perfect time to go ahead and transition into our next segment, which is KJ's Court. But before we get into that, I want to have a quick ad because we're also combining KJ's Court and our new segment, The Cool Down, brought to you by Frost Buddy. If you guys haven't, check out a Frost Buddy. Go buy one for yourself. Here's a quick ad of KJ and I showing you guys why you should get one from this weekend. Yeah, bro. Well, just remember, Dallas sucks. Hey, can you pass me another beer?
Yeah, I got you.
No, I can't do a Surfside. It's got to be a beer. This cooler's a one size only. Sorry.
Look at this. The Frost Buddy, man. You got to try this.
Really? How's that work?
Universal can cooler.
It's a universal, you said?
So basically, you can do any size can. Tall or skinny, I'm talking Surfsides, High Noons, Beers, Miller Lights. You can even do Snapples and Gatorade bottles.
Oh, dude.
You got to check this thing out. And of course, you could rock out with the best team in the MLB. Ring the bell, the Phils.
Yeah, that thing looks fire.
Go get one for yourself. Best team in the MLB. Make the Mets look like a bunch of babies. Cheers to Frost Buddy. I love this freaking thing.
Every can, every bottle. Frost Buddy, the real MVP of this summer. Available now in the 302 Birds TikTok shop. Stay frosty.
McCoy advertise and announce, but he can also ball out.
You are now listening to KJ's Court, Sixers Talk presented by the Sleeper app.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. Definitely do appreciate that. I still got the jumper ready to go. So corner 3 in the corner. But yeah, I mean, we saw someone ball out for the Sixers, and that was great to see. I mean, you can't be a 76er in the summer league without getting injured. I got to be honest. That's the one thing I can really take away from an amazing performance we saw from VJ Edgecombe. He had an insane first point. It was a finger roll layup, and it was almost like a very Tony Parker-esque finger roll. It was nice. It was a nice layup. And then he had a nice breakaway steal slam. That was a nice tomahawk slam by him. So that was nice to see. But yeah, he was just really aggressive. He was all over the court. And it was really cool to see him go against Ace Bailey, the guy that I wanted originally. But then when it came to about a week before the draft, my opinion definitely changed. When I saw the immaturity in Ace Bailey, the not readiness by Ace Bailey, just the babiness he had. I mean, it's just, no, I don't want anything to do with him. This guy, though, VJ Edgecombe, he is a dog. And I just love how his energy is just amazing. And it sucks now because right now he is dealing with a thumb injury. And it could be a couple weeks. It could be a month or so. I do think he will be ready, though, for the regular season. I think it's just a thumb injury. I don't think it's that serious. But as I said before, though, I feel like it is deja vu. Every single time we see a guy ball out for the Sixers in the Summer League and then get injured. So there's some kind of injury that happens. Let's just hope there's nothing else, and let's just hope he has amazing health. So please, because we've not had that in the past at all.
It is exciting to see someone young who has energy like this for the team, and for the city that really is struggling in the basketball department right now. I feel like the last season in particular just kind of took any wind that was left in our sails and just took it completely out. So I think this is very, very encouraging. Obviously, yes, injuries are not ideal, but they're going to happen. We are early. We are way preseason at this point. We're in the summer league, so I am not really concerned about that yet. I think they would have told us if it was something to be concerned about.
Yeah.
I really like VJ a lot. I think he was such a great pick. And I like your take, too, about the injury because that is factual, KJ. But you look at this debut, I mean, 28 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. That's about as versatile as it gets. I looked at my notes from a couple weeks ago about what I wanted to see in expectations from VJ. And I think it's fair to say that exceeded them. Can I find my notes on that? Let me see while I look it up real quick. But my main point is, I think I was like 10 points a game, 3 or 4 rebounds, maybe 5. And if we get lucky, like I would say 2 or 3 assists. He literally exceeded that with 28 points. Then he had 10 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 blocks. That is all over the court. So the Sixers, I think, have finally found someone that they can put their trust in. And it's exciting. It's a very exciting time for Philadelphia 76ers fans. What is not an exciting time is actually our next segment, which we're bringing our boy, Eagles analyst from 302 Birds on the show, Joey Havens. We got some beef to break down with you, Havens.
It's always involving Cjgj. Always. It's like he goes like a month without having a headline, and then something has to come out. Like, I think he's desperate for attention because it's always something. And this one is crazy. I want to know. So if it's true, I want to know when he did it. And then number 2, like, I'm so glad Howie got rid of him because, like, my first thought when I saw it was, you're going to put a hit out on a rookie? Are you that? Like, as a veteran safety that you talk all this trash, you're going to put a hit out on a rookie? What kind of soft baby, like, what is that?
Yeah, I want to show the clip real quick just so we can give some context because this is a wild allegation from his baby mama, like Joey just alluded to. CJ Gardner-Johnson allegedly issued a hit on Malik Neighbors. I don't believe it. I'm going to get to why in a second, but let's go ahead and roll the clip.
Yeah, it's going to get real bad. Like, you're so jealous. You're so jealous. You try to do jealous shit. Like, tell Malik Neighbors about the so-called hit you had with your boy Z. My boy Z gonna go get Malik Neighbors tonight. You ain't doing shit. Go press stream, nigga. Go press play on stream and go get some views. You got 23 views. Hopefully this will get you some more. Lame ass. Hey, go tell him. I'm gonna keep on. I'm not gonna stop this time because you got me fucked up.
Wow, you got her fucked up. That was the direct quote. So, like Joey said, look, the problem is it always does involve Cjgj. Like, that's just calling it like it is, right? He's involved in it. It involves him. The issue is this. I don't think that this was CJ Gardner-Johnson. Like, I don't think that he would do this. This is a wild allegation because here's why. And shout out to Chaos Chris. Chaos Chris made a video that I very much agree with on this. That video basically saying, why would CJ Gardner-Johnson, a guy that was a Super Bowl champion, had so many other things on his plate, so many other fish to fry, why would he come down to the level of such an irrelevant franchise like the New York Giants and issue a hit on Malik Neighbors? Number one, why would he even waste his time on worrying about Malik Neighbors? But number two, why would he even go as far as to put a hit on him? That's the thing that I can't get over. I definitely agree with Chaos Chris's take on that. I mean, Mac, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, it kind of makes more sense now that the trade happened. I mean, we were definitely, like me and Jack, were definitely scratching our heads. We were definitely frustrated when we heard the news.
Thank you for saying you and Jack.
What's up?
I said, thank you for saying you and Jack. I appreciate you.
Yeah. No, it was me and Jack. And we were definitely really surprised and we were shocked why the Eagles would get rid of CJ Gardner-Johnson. And it was definitely very confusing. But now I look back at it now and I'm like, okay, you know what? Maybe this was one of the reasons. Maybe this is what Howie did to save the franchise, because we could, if this is true, if this really is true, we could get penalized for this. But now, since he's not here anymore, he's not part of the organization, I don't think we could even get penalized if this actually ever happened, because it would probably just be CJ getting penalized and not the Eagles. So if that is true, Howie Roseman really did make the right move. Now, player-wise, I still don't think it was the right move. I think CJ Gardner-Johnson is an outstanding safety, and I do think he is definitely a great help for this team, and he definitely brought a lot of energy to the table. Yes, he brought a lot of trash talking, but he was a ball hawk for sure, and I'm definitely going to miss the player, CJ. The person, though, especially if you actually did do this, I will not miss this. I will definitely not miss this kind of person if this is true. This is alleged, so it's not actually proven yet. But, yeah, I mean, this is a pretty big allegation for sure. It definitely is. And we'll see if they actually try and investigate this, if they actually try and go further with this investigation. I don't know if the NFL is trying to go an investigation. I don't know if the Texans are trying to get an investigation with this. But, I mean, this is a pretty big allegation. And for setting up players like that and trying to injure them or like getting some hits on them like that, it just doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't, especially on a guy like Malik Neighbors, a guy who really doesn't. I mean, I don't remember seeing any trash talk between those guys exchanged at all. I don't remember any of that. I went to the Giants and Eagles game, and I didn't see anything like that between those two. I mean, maybe there was, but nothing that I saw. So I do think it's very interesting. And if it is true, Howie definitely did right for this organization. And you got to tip your cap to him if this is true.
So I remember, I think it was Dalton and I, right after the trade, we're kind of like, yeah, there's something that we don't know yet. But they would not do this for nothing. We had issues with him in the locker room forever. He had never been a great locker room guy. And I think based off of the fact with the suddenness of the trade, considering there was really no conversation of it and then it happened, I think that leads me to believe that unfortunately there may be some truth to this. Now, this does not mean that everything that this person is coming out and saying is true, but there definitely had to have been something that triggered a trade like that. And so I'm not surprised that we're seeing more things come out. However, anytime we see a negative headline about the Eagles, it has him involved in some way, shape, or form.
You know, what I thought was kind of interesting when KJ was talking is my brain didn't even think about this. So like I heard the word hit and like you know where my brain went. I like immediately like way into left field. But I want to know if it is true, who's
like
this?
Carol
Like,
Baskin hit.
is Z like is Z a player? And who is Z technically? And like what is going to be the consequences for that person as well if they tried to execute said hit? And then secondly, was he talking like when he got ejected from the Commanders game? Was he like talking type smack like something like this? Is this what got him kicked out like of the Commanders game now? Like thinking about it, because like whenever he got kicked out, it was like, well, he was just talking trash. But I'm wondering if like he was like, oh, well, I'm gonna have da 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 like that. Like it would make sense, and if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean,
I think I know who he is. I think I figured it out. At first, my mind went into left field like yours. I actually, like, until you just said that, Joey, thought that it was like a legit hit. Like he hit you to hit. And I wouldn't be shocked if that was the case still. Like, and I'm not being like I that's what I think she's trying to say, allegedly. Yeah. I don't think that this is true, but I think that that's what she's trying to put out there. I don't think she was talking about a football hit, like in her tone. Maybe she was. If she was, here's who I think it was. It had to be Zach Bond, Z. Like that would make sense. Z right in the middle. When you think about a linebacker, a lot of times they freaking nail. I'm talking nail wide receivers across the middle. So I bet you Z was probably Zach Bond. I mean, what do you guys think?
It could be. It could maybe be Zach Bond, but I do feel like I don't think it is like a Joe Exotic, Carol Baskin thing where he hired someone to go kill some. I don't think it's like that. I don't think it was a setup hit thing like that. I think it was probably football related. She was saying maybe something where like hitting Malik Neighbors in the head, where maybe CJ would get penalized for targeting. So maybe that's it. But I don't think it's deadly. I don't think she was talking like, I don't think she was saying, oh, he's gonna set him up. He's gonna actually take his life like that. And I don't think so. I think CJ is a controversial guy. I do think he is crazy sometimes, but I don't think he's that crazy. I don't think so.
I mean, if it was,
I hope not.
If Z is Zach Bond, I as far as like we know about him, Zach Bond doesn't seem like the type of guy that's going to go out there and be like, you know what, I'm going to willingly try and knock Malik Neighbors out of the game. Like, so I feel like that would make a lot of sense as like to why like everything went down the way it did. And they were like, all right, you're out of here, CJ. Like, no more. We're done with this. You helped us with our ring, but adios.
Well, they're two different kind of people as well. Zach Bond's a very humble guy.
Yeah, exactly.
They both did come from New Orleans, which is kind of funny. Zach Bond and CJ Gardner-Johnson, if you think about it. And they kind of had different kind of roles. I mean, CJ, obviously, he kind of established himself as a safety over there. Zach Bond, though, didn't really establish himself really in New Orleans. He really didn't at all. He barely made the team, and he got cut and stuff like that. And then he came to Philadelphia. He got his game revived by I'm blanking on the name right now. The defensive coordinator.
Like Fangio?
Fangio. Yeah, I couldn't think of the name for a second. Fangio. I know Fangio, but I just couldn't think. It was blanking. But yeah, I think if you look at the interviews that you see from Zach Bond, when you see Zach Bond talk, very different people. Zach Bond is a very humble guy, very blessed, very just about the team. He's a very unselfish player, where CJ is more about kind of himself. He's streaming Fortnite. I saw he was even playing college football recently, the new game or whatever. But he's always talking crap, even in video games to random people. So very different like personalities, different energy. So I think obviously if the team was if there was a scenario where something happened, maybe there was something in the locker room where there was a fight that happened, and you kind of see like how different Zach Bond is to how different CJ is. I think from what they saw from Zach Bond this year and the leadership, and I mean, just like the underdog mentality he had and just the way that he just kind of presented himself, they're going to pick Zach Bond over CJ Gardner-Johnson as a person and probably a player as well. So I think that's what they probably did. And it seems like they really do truly believe in Zach Bond, even though they're different positions. I do feel like he was maybe involved with something, because it does kind of seem weird though, because Z is, I can't think of anybody else.
There's nobody else on. I just
nobody else.
There's nobody else.
Nobody else. So it probably has to either be him or maybe there's another Z somewhere else. I don't know. Maybe an ex-boyfriend or something like that. I don't know. It could be something that has nothing to do with football, but we have no idea.
You're
but
right.
I do think it definitely is a fishy situation, and it's going to be interesting to see what the NFL or whoever does anything about this situation. If they, really
I wonder if they were talking to the same girl too. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder if it was a DMing thing.
Well,
and if they
Zach Bond is married.
not Zach
with a
Bond.
child.
I'm saying Malik
neighbors.
and Cjgj. Like, if they were talking to the same girl, and if that's where this all stemmed from.
Pretty sure Neighbors is single because he was talking about who's that singer that he had a crush on? Trying to think her name, one of the rappers or whatever. I forget her name. Somebody will put in the comments, but he was saying how he was attracted to her recently, and he was like, "Yeah, I would love to go on a date with her," or something like that. So maybe it was something to do with CJ's ex-girlfriend. I don't know. I mean,
who knows?
Who knows? I mean, I'm just
They were both in Lizzo's DMs.
Yeah. Was it? Yeah. It wasn't Lizzo. It wasn't Lizzo. It was not Lizzo. I'm pretty sure Lizzo was involved with a former Minnesota Viking. So
all right. Well, we don't need to debate.
No, the song.
I know. I'm just busting your balls. It's all good.
Yeah.
But getting into our final segment of the night. No, not Cjgj anymore. I'm talking about something more exciting than beef. We're talking about that the Eagles have alluded a little bit to that they may be open to bringing back the white with Kelly green accent jerseys. You know, the iconic away jerseys of the 90s that we all know. I'll start by saying, if the Eagles bring back these unis, this is going to be a major win financially and buy-in wise. You're going to get so much more buy-in from the fans, because this is going to bring back nostalgia to a lot of fans, but to us younger fans like KJ, like myself, guys who are younger, we've never seen the Eagles play in these uniforms before, ever. You forget that the Kelly green throwbacks that we saw when we were kids, when we were younger, they were a home version. We have never seen the Eagles play in a cool throwback away uniform. So in my opinion, I would be all for it. You look at some of the prototypes. Shout out to KJ McCoy for sending this over. Mm-hmm. If they put the white helmet in the mix, oh my God, it's game over. I mean, Mac, what do you want to say on it?
Yeah, I saw this prototype on Instagram today. But actually, so the whole controversy with this jersey, so there was a rally house that showed a jersey. Once again, actually, it's kind of funny that it always pops up at a rally house, because when the original Kelly green jersey was leaked, I don't know if you guys remember that, it was leaked at a rally house by a rally house staff or something like that. And they showed it, and then 2 weeks later, it was actually the same jersey. So that was a real leak. But I'm going to tell you this leak right here, it's not real, because here's the reason why. Because I've also seen this beforehand. I saw this year. I saw this jersey. This was being sold at the rally house. Same thing. So the difference is, from what I've seen, is you see on that jersey right there in the prototype, you see there's an Eagles logo on the sides. You see the old white flying eagle. You don't have that on this jersey. You don't have that there on this jersey. You don't have it on the one that was leaked as well. So it's not really a leak because I just think that jersey right there, as it says, black Kelly green fashion game jersey. So it's a fashion jersey. They've done that before. They've done that with a gray Eagles jersey. I haven't
Camo ones, in the
Yeah,
past.
they've done that. So I do see why people would get confused and they're saying like, oh, they're bringing it back. They're bringing the white Kelly green back. But I don't think so because that, from what I saw at the Rally House that was leaked, that doesn't have the logo on the sides of the shoulders. It doesn't have it. So that's where I'm more willing to say that probably it is another fashion jersey, and that's all it is. You're going to see people rocking them for sure. But yeah, I think we're probably going to get those eventually, but I just don't think so yet. And also, I mean, you could see in that lower thirds right now, you can see that's a different jersey as well. You can see that one was actually from the 80s. That's a different one than the one that was in the 90s. Because you can see in that one, you have the gray stripes as well with the green outline as well. So that's a little different. That was the one that they had against the Raiders in the 1980 Super Bowl, I believe it was. I think it was 80 or 83, 82, whenever it was. I wasn't alive. So, but yeah, I think that this is kind of a hoax. I don't think it's really a leak, and I don't think it is coming. I really don't. I think it'll come in the next couple of years, but I just don't see it coming this year because I just think it's just a fashion jersey they're bringing out.
Joey, what do you think?
I think it would be a great idea. And so they wouldn't have to, like, as far as like the white helmet, they wouldn't really probably ever do that. But I think it's 3 helmets you can have per year now, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
you can have 3, I believe.
Okay.
Yes.
So they got the regular midnight green, they got the black, which I don't think either of those are going anywhere, and then obviously got your Kelly green. But really, they wouldn't have to change like the actual Kelly green uniform that much. So that's why it doesn't seem that like far-fetched. It would literally just be put the white jersey instead of the Kelly green jerseys, and you could wear away one of the games. And it would probably be like a Dallas or New York, like it would be a divisional game, and it would be so awesome. It would be amazing. And I don't know if this year they'll do it, but with the Commanders dropping their new jerseys, now I feel like it's like, you know what? Jeffrey Lurie might go, you know what, Josh Harris? You know what? You're not better than me. Watch this. Watch what I can do. And he might drop these new jerseys just because, you know what? Screw you, Josh Harris. Screw your new uniforms, which, by the way,
screw these.
My little brother made a great point earlier to me. He said, you know what they should have done? Instead of the W, because that's weird, why don't you like put a feather or something? Like if you're gonna pay homage to
the spear,
former,
spear. Put the spear.
Yeah, like the spear or something. But it's not about them, it's about the Eagles.
Yeah, don't give out any free ideas over there, all right?
I know.
There's been a lot of ideas suggested.
The white Kelly green would look so clean. It would look so nice. Like, you know what we could do? We could march into Dallas with a white Kelly green jersey, and we could just obliterate them, and it would be amazing.
It would be cool. It definitely would be cool. Yeah, I think I kind of agree with Joey. I do see them going with just the green helmet. I think they will keep the Kelly green helmet because but if they try and do like what you see, like the color rush thing, I think that would, because if we add that white helmet, that would probably make that a color rush helmet because that they did, however, have a white helmet at one point, but that wasn't the jersey that they rocked though when they had that white helmet. So I would probably consider that a color rush instead of just a alternate throwback jersey. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. It seems like a lot of teams right now are releasing, and they're actually they're releasing right now some alternate jerseys, like I think, and alternate helmets. I think the Saints just released their color rush helmets and jerseys now. Well, actually, it's just the helmet. They have a white helmet now that they're doing for a color rush game, and then I think there was another team as well that released some new uniforms as well. But yeah, I mean, the Commanders just got those older kind of throwback uniforms, trying to make it look like when they were the Redskins. So, I mean, I do think it is interesting. I don't think it's that bad looking. I mean, I do see what they're trying to do, but I do agree with Joey, though. They definitely should have brought back the spear. I mean, they definitely should have brought that back. That would be cool. That would definitely be something cool.
Yeah. No free ideas, though. No free advertising.
They won't listen to us anyway. They named the team the football team at one point. They won't listen to us.
I'm just kidding.
So,
I'm just Paul Boston.
If they don't do like the white Kelly greens, I kind of see like the question up there. What would you guys say like you would want to see this year? Like, so I know like this is gonna be, you might clown on me for this one, but like I've seen this like very solemn, like a little bit on their page they posted. I don't know why, but I think if we did like the black helmets, the black jerseys, the green pants, oh, it would look great. It would look amazing. Or even like the dark green, midnight green helmet, like throwback to like when Dawkins and they did it like I think it was 04, 05 or something. I want to see that.
Even AJ was saying that he wants them to bring it back. He definitely does. And then he posted that picture as well of him. So he wants them to bring it back. And I agree. I think that would be really cool. I've played in Madden a couple times with this this jersey combo. This jersey pants combo and helmet combo. It really is pretty cool. I do remember Dawkins playing with that, and it was always pretty cool just to see the whole thing like that. Kind of like in baseball where you see the whole uniform, the same colors and everything like that. I always thought it was a really cool thing. So we'll see if they actually do that or not, but they haven't done that for years. I think Joey's right. They haven't done it since like 03, 04. So, yeah.
I think that it would be cool if they did this throwback combo. I'd like to see it. But my main thing is I want Kelly Green. That away Kelly Green. What you guys said, I think, makes it possible. Where if you use the Kelly Green helmet, because you can use it for the Kelly Green home and the Kelly Green away, kill two birds with one stone. You can have the color rush. And if they did a color rush jersey with that throwback, it would sell so fast. But
I'll say one more thing, though.
Yeah.
Before we get an away white Kelly Green jersey, can the Sixers just give us back the black?
Yes.
2000 uniforms already? That would be awesome. Just do that already because they kept on saying that they were going to do it. They keep on saying, yeah, it's happening this year. I haven't seen any leaks. I haven't seen anything yet. I am biting my fingernails already. I will probably be more hyped for that than the Kelly Green. That's just my personal opinion. I want to see that so bad, especially a VJ Edgecombe jersey with that'd be cool. But sorry to get off track.
You're
Once
good.
Again, Josh Harris, he's spending his money.
Yeah, Josh Harris. Yeah, true. He's involved with our franchise too. So
damn guy. Well, I'll tell you what, speaking of people with their head in different places when it should be in Philadelphia, let's talk about somebody that all last year it seemed like had his head in the clouds. Apparently, I still say it by trade. I don't even want to say the guy's right name. Apparently, Bryce Huff said that he wanted out from Philadelphia from the start after winning a Super Bowl with the team, after getting a Super Bowl ring with the franchise that you're going to probably wear and rock, at least brag about. You say that. Let's go ahead and see what Bryce Huff had to say about his time with the Philadelphia Eagles in his own words.
And honestly, if I'm being 100% honest with you, I wanted to trade like fairly early on, and just because of how things went in Philly, like I knew pretty early on that it wasn't a fit. But like being a signing of that magnitude, like being undrafted and going and getting that contract and being in Philly, like the expectations are at an all-time high. So I knew a trade wasn't going to happen during the season. But I had just kind of like talked to my agent about it. I was like, yeah, when it's all said and done, like I might need to step, just to be able to put myself in the best position to ball out and have a fruitful career. And there's a plethora of things that went down. I don't want to get into specifics, but of course, I like being in the league for five years last year. I'm going into my sixth right now, but being in the league for 5 years, I kind of knew what it felt like for me to be.
What?
Yeah.
That's Vic Fangio weaning out the soft. If you go back and watch that, That's somebody that doesn't like the way that he said it. I feel like Vic Fangio said something to him because everything that he's saying is the complete opposite of what he means. He says he wants a fruitful career. He says he wants to thrive. He says he wants to succeed. You could have done all that this year, buddy. This is the definition of succession in the NFL, is winning the Super Bowl. That is the peak of peaks. You were right there, and you didn't want to be a part of it. I'm just shocked that he thinks that other teams and other franchises will still take him seriously after he just said that comment. If I was a 49ers fan, I would be honestly kind of pissed because you guys remember, we were talking about it earlier in the show with Cjgj. When he came back the second time around, KJ remembers, I was not excited. I do not forget when people say stuff. And I remembered that CJ Gardner-Johnson cussed out Philly as soon as he left. He said that Philly people were ignorant and all that. If I'm a 49ers fan, I am looking at this interview and being like, okay, this dude is just a guy that wants to get paid. He literally said the contract was nice. That was the only positive thing he had to say about Philly. He said, yeah, the money was good. Like, I basically finessed him out of the money, but I didn't want expectations of doing anything. That's what he said in layman's terms, if you go back and watch the tape. And honestly, I am so happy we have Vic Fangio because that's Vic just weaning out the bad.
Yeah, I think from what we saw in that interview, I mean, you just saw a guy not giving eye contact at all. He was like, oh, yeah, just it didn't work out. Like, what the hell are you even saying? Like,
yeah,
ungrateful, super ungrateful. It shows right there that he's honestly just saying, yeah, I didn't like how I got pushed by Vic Fangio. I didn't like how he called me out on an interview and saying that I wasn't ready. I didn't like that. He didn't even say that because he wanted to keep it secret. He probably is afraid of Vic Fangio. He probably is scared of the guy. Because he's a wuss. So honestly, I mean, here's the thing. That guy tried to set you up for success. Same thing he tried to do with the Miami Dolphins team. And the Miami Dolphins players didn't like that at all. They didn't want to win football games. But then the rest of your teammates, or if you consider them teammates of yours, maybe you don't because you're not on the team anymore. They respected what Vic Fangio did. And they respected it so much that they were young guys. They believed in it. And look what they did for Vic Fangio. They helped him win a Super Bowl. They helped him do that. And usually you hear those kind of things like, I want to trade really early on. Usually hear that from teams that are like 0-16. You hear this from like, I don't know, like from former Dolphin teams that happened, that had horrible records. And you hear players saying that. But that wasn't the case at all. This team, you had a chance to go to the Super Bowl. You didn't play in it because you weren't good enough. And also you're probably injured with something. And you were just being a wussy baby. The guy is a total joke. The guy can't take any criticism, and he was not a good signing. It's okay, though, because Howie was able to realize that, and instead of holding on to him for longer than we could have, he actually unloaded him and let him go. So kudos to Howie for realizing he screwed up with that one and realizing that Huff was not a good fit for this team, and he wasn't ready to play to his full potential. He wasn't ready. He definitely was not. And it seemed like Vic Fangio could definitely coach him up. But, I mean, it just seemed like this guy was so immature, like he was just a pouty guy. And you could kind of see right there, yeah, the money was nice. The money was nice. Like, that's the most Tobias Harris thing I've ever heard in my life. That is just so Tobias Harris, if you ask me. And just a guy trying to get a paycheck and whatever. And it's just, it's hilarious because this guy's a bum and he's going to go over there in San Francisco and he is not going to do jack shit.
Yeah, I'm with it. Joey, what do you think?
So you see up here in the, I guess it's on this side for everybody. Here, top, it says pure soft. There it is. That's what he is. He's pure soft. Hey, how are you going to say, like, somebody, I think it was on WIP I was listening to, they said basically, like, the way they made it out, it was like a couple weeks into training camp, you were basically checked out. Like, dude, like, didn't want to be here anymore. And I know when we first signed him, it was like, okay, so his big, like, what he's really good at is rushing the passer. Stopping the run, not good at all. But rushing the passer, that's why we got him. Like, so I don't know if it was like he got the training camp and Vic Fangio was like, look, dude, if you're going to start for my team, you're going to do both. You're not just going to do one or the other. You're not just going to be on like third downs coming in, rush the passer. No, you're going to be there. Like, you're going to be you're going to be playing for the team, not just yourself, not your personal stats. And the way he talks in the video is like he all about himself. And like you guys keep referring to, yeah, all he says is, oh, well, I got my money. Yeah, bro, you got your money. Cool. You didn't do anything for it. And now you're going to go play with San Francisco with your former head coach who lost his job because he wasn't good at his job. And he's going to take it easy on you because that's what you want because, again, you're pure soft. Like, it's what do you mean? And the expectation parts, like, what do you expect? You're coming to the most passionate city, like the most passionate city for football. And you're talking about, well, they have high expectations. Yeah, no duh. Like, what do you expect? We had a horrible ending to 2023, and we brought you in to help us return from that and do better, and you wanted to sit on the sidelines and just collect your check. Like, honestly, we could have probably started Nolan Smith and Jalen Hunt all year instead of you, and we would have saved a lot more money, and we would have got a lot more production probably. Because we see what they did in the playoffs. So, like, next season when Nolan Smith and Jalen Hunt are rotating in and out and they're balling out and Bryce Huff is sitting on the bench in San Francisco, everybody's going to go, all right, Howie, you messed up, but you got rid of him quick enough to where it's like, all right, it doesn't matter, and we got a Super Bowl ring out of it, even though he didn't help us and he got benched. That's what his other thing is he got benched in the Super Bowl, so he's butthurt about it. Like,
yeah.
Oh,
it's going to be awkward if I don't think he's going to go to the ring ceremony. I don't think Cjgj is going to go to the ring ceremony. We'll see. We'll find out.
Do they get their rings sent in the mail then? Well, how does that work?
Yeah, they'll get them. Don't worry. They'll get them. Like, they will want the ring. Don't get me wrong. They won't want to deal with the facing.
Imagine Huff is like, you know what? Screw this. He throws it in the river or whatever.
He honestly might. If he does something like that, I'm going in that river, and I'm going to change it Huff. I'll just leave a fucking H on it for Holland at that point. Like, I don't care.
He's going to sell it. It's going to be the lowest selling Super Bowl ring ever.
Yeah. I got a fucking bidder right here. Point is, that's all we got for you guys tonight. I know it was a little bit longer of a show. We had a little bit longer of a call-in with Dr. Dew in that interview, but I wanted to do that. Dr. Dew's an awesome dude. Love his content. And if you guys want to call into the show with the new call-in format, just shoot us a DM on Instagram, and we will get you on there. But that's all we got for you guys tonight. Jack is on a little bit of a road trip, so I guess I'll go ahead and take the honor. But Josh, it's not an intro. It's an outro. Hit that motherfucking outro.
What we got? 302 birds. You know, stinks.